Good afternoon, traders. It is Wednesday, September 2nd, 2020, and the U.S. stock market is closed. We had another hair pulling day today, not a disaster day, just a hair pulling day. Let's call it that. But before I talk about that, let's look at the Dow, because the Dow is on its way to making history here. Dow gapped up this morning. Nice steady move all day long, closing near its high. And the Dow finished up 455 points, and it closed at 29,100, I believe. So we are only 400 points, approximately, I don't know the exact figure, 400 points from setting an all-time record high in the Dow. Take a look at the long chart here. This chart goes back here, this high back here. That's our previous all-time highs in February of this year. This is the March lows, and then we've been climbing ever since those March lows, very steady to where we are today, right there, and that's only 400 points approximately from the all-time high. So we're within a day of seeing that. It's pretty amazing, but I've been here before, and I know that sometimes when you're getting into that record high area, it can be really frustrating for trading for some reason. Never sure exactly why, but it is, and we have not been making much headway at all with our equity gains. For we're we're into 8 to 10 weeks now, so that's been frustrating. Today was no exception. I've been telling you about these days we have where we have seem to have pretty good trading one day, and then we're holding profits, and then next day they disappear, and that's happened to us. I think it seemed like 3 or 4 days in a row. I would have to check that. That maybe I'm exaggerating, but it happened again with us yesterday. We had had our profits wiped out yesterday morning, and then I got ticked off. Didn't pay too much attention to the markets, but by the end of the day, we had about $15,000 in profits built up in a bunch of stocks that looked real good coming into this. That was looked good in the aftermarket yesterday. Looked good in the pre-market this morning. Coming in, we had a little pullback, not too bad on the open, but it still looked pretty good. And then all those profits just disappeared by the time we got out, and we ended up going from having about $15,000 in open trade yesterday on the close to closing those positions out with positive $595, just out the door. All the profits evaporated, and it done the same thing to us the day before, and I think the day before that also. So this is really frustrating. It's not that damaging to us equity-wise, but it is really very frustrating. And then in spite of this huge move today, we only got into 3 positions today, 2 positive, 1 negative, and yeah, we're carrying negative $465 in open trade going into tomorrow. So all this nice stuff that's happening with the Dow is having zero effect on us. I'll show you 3 of the stocks that might explain some of this. I don't know if it will explain or not, but let's just show this stuff. This first one I'm showing you is CLSK, which is Clean Spark Incorporated. We had just an absolutely spectacular trade in this a while ago, maybe a couple of them. I mean, we just made tons of money in this stock, but last the last two trades, we have not made a lot of money on it. You can see here we bought Clean Spark 2 days ago, and then we got out here with I think a $500 loss, just a little loss there. But then we got re-entered yesterday on this spike up. We're hanging on to it. It closes against us, and then down it goes, stops us out this morning. That cost us $5,000. So that started the unraveling of our equity for today. This next one really did it to us, and this is GSX Tekadu. GSX is letters of it. It's GSX Tekadu, and this 2 days ago we bought this thing, and then yesterday we got out of it very nicely there with a $4,000 plus trade. That was real nice. It kept moving. We got re-entered, and then on the close yesterday we had an additional $2,000 in open trade equity. And then look here what happens this morning. Down it comes like a brick right on the open there, and we're stopped out with an $8,000 loss. So, starting out the day with just one single stock loses $8,000, that's hard to make up for. What happened here, and this is also frustrating, been happening to us just a little too much lately. The company announces after the close yesterday that they're under investigation by the SEC. So they're under investigation. Their stock opens down a whole bunch, and we're stuck with an $8,000 loss in a stock that had been performing very well for us up to that time. So that was a kick in the butt. I'll show you our lifesaver today. No, that's not right. Where am I? There we go. This is SHLL, which is Tortoise Acquisition Corporation, the electric truck company. Well, let me just tell you, yesterday we got out of this early in the day with about a $2,500 loss. Nothing much was happening, and then this thing just took off with about 90 minutes to go. We grabbed that as soon as it took off, didn't ask any questions. It closed very favorably right on its high, and it jumped up again this morning really nicely. And right here, where we took our profits in Tortoise Acquisition Corporation, we took out $18,000 in profit. This is an outlier trade, one of those outlier trades I keep telling you about. 18 grand. And that's how we kept from going in the red today. I mean, this has basically turned our day. We made $500 today. I know that's not much, but if we hadn't had this trade in here, we would have lost 18,000 on our losses. As it is, we did just a little better than break even. And this is, speaks to the power of trading a lot of stocks, a lot of diversity. Because even on a terrible day like today, when everything seems to go wrong, we had one stock that went really well, and that offset our losses. That is very, very nice. I don't think this is anything to worry about, but this thing kept going along. We got re-entered on this thing, and it closed just a little against us, so we're down $2,000 in open trade in Tortoise Acquisition. But I look at this chart, and this really doesn't look like a sell-off. I think that's just a little profit taking right is there at the end. I don't think we're going to have trouble with that, but yeah, quite honestly, I wish we didn't have it. But we're down $2,000 with Tortoise acquisition. So it was crazy trading day, and that's all I can say. We got to live through it. It's going to get better, folks. Maybe the worm will turn after Labor Day. We'll just have to see. Trader Bob signing off. Be back here tomorrow on Thursday.